Okay, so we're going to try to go through a bunch of examples for the math pre-assessment for the trades. It's your OYAP interview questions. Okay, so if you're going into a trade, all of these are very important, especially when applying to college. A lot of entrance exams go over these things that you're not allowed to use a calculator for, so you have to know how to do it by hand. So the very first one is a multiplication question, and it's not that simple. It's technically a 3-digit by 2-digit. It looks more complex than it is. Okay, when we're multiplying, decimals are important, but we're going to try to dumb down the question, make it easier, and then apply the decimals at the end. So we're going to count the number of decimal places in the question, and we're going to add them together. So for both of them, there's 1 decimal place in the first one, and there's 1, 2, 3 decimal places in the second one. So what is that all together? 4, right? So we have 1 and 3. So altogether we have 4 decimal places. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to move those decimals, the exact number that we counted. So the new question is going to read 182 times 0064. And what number is that? It's just 64. Okay? That number is just 64. Let's move that over. Okay. I'm going to show you 2 different ways to set this question up to solve it. Okay? The way you guys would have learned in elementary school is most likely where you stack the larger number on top. So we have 182 multiplied by 64 below it. And then we go through a process of multiplying each of the digits. So when multiplying this, we start with the ones column of the bottom number, and we multiply it by each of the values above. So we have to multiply it by 3 different numbers. What is 4 times 2? Yep. 4 times 8? Yep. So we take that 3, we bring it up, 4 times 1. And then what do we do with this 3? We have to add it. So 4 times 1 plus 3 gives us 7. Now when we go to the tens column, because we're working in the tens column, we actually have to put a 0 in the ones column below. And then we do the same process again. We take that 6 times each of these values. So what is 6 times 2? 12. Carry the 1. What is 6 times 8? 48 plus 1. Good. And then we put the 4 above. What is 6 times 1? Plus 4. 10. So we write down 10. Once we have these values, we have to add everything together. Okay? So we just go column by column. 8 and 0 is 2 and 2. 9 and 7. Bring the 1. 1 and 0. And 1. So what is this number? Yeah, it looks like 11,642, but we started with decimals, and these decimals are really important. We have to actually incorporate them into the final answer here, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to start at the very lowest number, and we have to count the number of decimal places that were all together. So we figured out at the beginning of the question there were 4, okay? So we're going to start to the right of 8, and we're going to count 4 decimal places to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So this is where our new decimal is, which makes this number what? 1.648. That is our answer. Okay? All right, another way we could go through this question, okay, is we still have to do the very first part the exact same. We have to figure out how many decimal places there are. We already figured out there are 4, and it remakes the question for us. 182 by 64. When we do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a box, okay, with the number of spaces as there is numbers. So what I mean by that is I'm going to put the number 182 on top. Okay, so we have 182. And I'm going to put 3 columns below it. Okay? Each of these numbers stands for a column. So our 1 is our hundreds column, our 8 is our tens, and our 2 is our ones column. I'm going to take the other number 64, I'm going to make rows. So I'm going to write 6 and 4. So because there are 2 of them, we're going to make 2 rows throughout this question. So we're creating a box to help us organize our multiplication. Okay? And it depends how many numbers are involved. If this was a 4-digit number, we'd add another column. And if this was a 3-digit number, we'd add another row. And we just have a bigger box to work with. Okay? From here, what I want you guys to do is I want you to put diagonals in all of the boxes. This is very much like bingo. Okay, I know you haven't seen this before. They started teaching this in elementary school because it's a little easier to organize. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of play a game of bingo. We're going to take our 6 and multiply it by each of the terms above and write the numbers in these boxes. Okay, so what we mean by that, what is 2 times 6? 12, right? So we have a 1 and then a 2. This is our 12. What is 6 times 8? 48. So we have a 4 and an 8. What is 6 times 1? 6. So what number would I put up here? 0 and 6. Okay, so there's no really carrying extra numbers around. We just put them in our columns. What is our 4 times 2? 8. So I have to put in 0, 8. 4 times 8? 32. So I put a 3 and a 2. And 4 times 1? 0, 4. Okay, so I've done all the multiplication part. The rest of this is just addition. And if you look, these diagonals have created our addition lines. So we're just going to add across. And this will give us our number. So what's the very first number? 8. There is nothing to add it to, so we just have the number 8. We have 2 plus 0 plus 2, which is 4. We have 1 plus 8, 9 plus 3, plus 4, 16. So we take the 6, we carry the 1. 4 plus 1, 5 plus 6, 11. So we put down the 1, we carry the 1. What's 1 plus 0? 1. How many decimal places were there? 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we get the number 1.1648. So this is a lot less in depth than this version. But we haven't practiced this much. So we should stick to what we're very good with.